Okay, now using the shift is going to be the thing that you do the least. But it's still good because like on D, you're going to want to delete a word 95% of the time. To delete a character, you'll do it, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. There's other ways of doing it, but if you want to do it, now it's the shift D. So that's why it has the capital D. So all of the ones in red, I don't know if it's colored. Is that colored?
No.
No? Well, it's going to show you the capital D or the capitals do a totally different command. Okay?
So how do you turn hyperkeys on or off? Of course, you can use the mouse to click on the icon of the toolbar, but you can also select from the Edit menu or avoid the menus entirely by using the speed key Alt-Z. When hyperkeys are on, the toolbar icon will look pushed in, and you'll notice an HY.
And that's what it's going to tell you there, right? Okay? So when you're in hyperkeys, it's going to tell you that right there. HYP, you're in hyperkeys. Hyperkeys is going to look pressed in, and the prompt is going to be fatter. Okay? 3 indications right there. All right? Got it?
Yes.
P on the status bar at the bottom of the screen. The cursor will look bigger, indicating you're not yet ready to type. And if you have AutoMagic displaying keyboard shortcuts, then you will see the hyper key indicated. But when hyperkeys are off, you would see the regular speed key, and the cursor would be a narrow typing cursor.
You see what it just told you right there? On the AutoMagic? That's going to be another indication right there. I'm going to rewind that just a bit. Pretty important right there, guys.
Notice an HYP on the status bar at the bottom of the screen. The cursor will look big.
So when you're in hyperkeys, these are going to be the commands that you use in hyperkeys. Okay? So you see how it's totally different. Now you want to insert and type text, it's just N. Okay? You know, scan to an unresolved item, T, block mark, M, delete a word, D. You see how it does that? So now,
Bigger, indicating you're not yet ready to type. And if you have AutoMagic displaying keyboard shortcuts, then you will see the hyper key indicated. But when hyperkeys are off,
see how hyperkeys are off? Now you have like the Alt, Control, all of that stuff. Okay? So that's when you're going to know the prompt is smaller, the HYP is gone, this doesn't look pressed in, totally different commands right here. Okay?
you would see the regular speed key, and the cursor would be a narrow typing cursor. When hyperkeys are on, Eclipse expects that when you press a letter, it's to give a command rather than...
It's to give a command when hyperkeys is on, okay? Very important, guys, because the first couple of times you're going to do it, and it just happens naturally, you're going to want to start typing stuff in, and you're going to start doing all kinds of stuff. Delete, mark, global, take it to the end of the page, okay? Don't freak out, all right?
To type. If you forget this, and you press a letter to type and inadvertently lose your place, and perhaps land in a dialogue, simply press the escape key, and then use the movement oops command to go back to the line.
You see what it just did? So when you mess up, and you're going to, and it brings you to this,
your place, and perhaps land in a dialogue.
and you're going to land in something like this, where it's a fill in the blank, 45 pages lower than you want to be, don't freak out. Escape out of that. It's going to bring you here, and then you do the Z. And just keep pushing Z until it takes you back to the place where you want to go.
Dialogue, simply press the escape key, and then use the movement oops command to go back to the last edit point. That's either Shift-Alt-L or hyperkey capital Z. So how do you temporarily turn off hyperkeys in order to type text? Here you see it as a choice on the AutoMagic list, but you also see that it's in when hyperkeys are on.
So you're in hyperkeys, you get to a place where pages from I don't even know how to say it, do y'all?
Perioperative.
Perioperative.
That's what I said. Pages from perioperative record of the second volume of page 3, Memorial Hermann Hospital. Well, you left out second volume, page 3. No big deal. Put your cursor right there, type in, brings you into a small prompt. Now you can start typing. Now you're in word processor mode again. Okay? And that's what it's telling you right there, is to turn hyperkeys off is in.
When you're finished, just press enter. That turns hyperkeys on again.
You see what it says right there? So say you wanted to do one page right here, okay, and it just did it.
Automatic list, but you also see that it's in when hyperkeys are on. When you're finished,
So you start typing right here. You ready to go?
just press enter. That turns hyperkeys.
You just press enter again. It's not going to return it, okay? What it's going to do is bring you back into hyperkeys. But if you've never been in hyperkeys in this job and you push enter and it brings you down, then that just means you hadn't been into hyperkeys. Does that make sense? A little bit? Okay? So you're going to know that it's in hyperkeys because it says hyper, large prompt, pressed in, commands are different. Okay? Good? Are you zoning out already? Y'all okay?
Yes.
On again. And if you want to simply type over a word, again, press hyperkey in, type your new word, and then do not space over, but press the enter key once to turn hyperkeys on, and one more time to chop off the word that you typed over.
You see what it just did? Guys, pretty neat command right here. Okay? So, say, rewind it.
And if you want to simply
Say every time that you put pages, it needs to be charts. Okay? Y'all are in y'all's job. Get onto the beginning of a word. Are you in hyperkeys? Large prompt?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
Okay. Type in pages. Don't space over. Do exactly what I'm telling you to do.
Okay, say that one more time.
Okay. Get onto a word.
Okay.
You're in hyperkeys.
I already pressed in.
Press in. Type pages. Enter. Should take you back into hyperkeys. Enter again. Just deleted that word. Okay? Huh? Get onto the word. You're in hyperkeys. Press in to enter, to insert, and then type pages. Enter. Takes you back into hyperkeys. Enter. Deletes that word. Okay? The good and bad thing about that, guys, is that every time you go to that word pages now, and you press insert, they kind of did a little bit different here. I told you something different. So now every time that you go to that word that you were at the beginning of the prompt, now when you push enter, it's going to bring up pages. Okay? No big deal. Say you don't want pages there anymore, no big deal. You just start typing and pages goes away and it starts putting the words. Okay? So have y'all moved anything at all?
Yes.
You have? You probably messed it up then. Push Z and just see if it corrects it. Huh?
Corrected it.
It corrected it? Okay. So stay on the same way.
That's because I edited it. Like I actually did it.
It did the stuff before, but it didn't take the pages right there.
Did you put in pages?
Okay, now push Z.
And then type in pages, right?
Z.
See, so that's gonna take
See
you
how I put it back?
Mm-hmm.
Now go back to use.
over there.
Pages,
Push in.
press enter. So we're back in items, right? We're supposed to press enter again, it's supposed to take.
So every
order
time
like
the use
that,
comes
where's my
up,
order?
now it's gonna put pages.
I had to
But
press
push Z.
Oh, it took the time.
Z,
No, I pressed, yeah,
Z.
I
Z. Z.
No, this is that one that's having her keys on. It's-
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Wait,
let's put
no.
use back up.
Oh,
You're right.
look, Sissy, should we get all that up to?
Oh, yeah, shit. Yes, I did.